In 2015, a traffic jam occurred on a Beijing highway that completely shut down the 50-lane highway. In 1980, traffic jams on the French autoroute highway were so bad that the 175-kilometer stretch from Paris to Lyon took several days to clear. Similarly, traffic jams continue to occur in many parts of the world, including Brazil, Germany, and America, where vehicles have been reported to be stuck for 12 days. But today, I will talk about traffic jam. Surely you will be surprised. This traffic jam did not last for a few days, weeks, or months. Viewers, the world's longest and most difficult traffic jam occurred in the Suez Canal, where ships and thousands of their crews were stranded for the next 8 years. Welcome to my InfoSage TV. Traffic jams on highways or expressways could take days at most, but the Suez Canal jams were beyond anyone's ability. Let's know the interesting story of this unique and longest traffic jam in history. We all know that the Suez Canal is known as the jewel of the shipping and trading industry. Before 1869, when the shipping industry was not gifted with the Suez Canal, ships between Europe and Asia had to go around the African continent to Europe. The Suez Canal turned months of travel into days for the shipping industry, and ships from Europe could now travel directly from Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea of the Asian continent. By using this route, each ship saves about 10,000 kilometers. Apart from this, many groups of pirates in African waters used to rob ships passing through here. Including Somali pirates and West African pirates are very popular. These pirates used to forcefully stop the ship and loot goods worth hundreds of dollars and fulfill their demands by holding the crew hostage. The Suez Canal protected long-distance shipping as well as also from piracy. This is the incident of 5th June 1967, when 15 cargo ships entered the Suez Canal from the Mediterranean Sea early in the morning. It usually takes ships 12 hours to cross this canal, but today, their journey of hours was going to take years, and they did not know what was going to happen to them next. Now, this was a period when there was already some tension between Egypt and Israel, and these two neighbors were preparing for war against each other. Now, if you look at the map, this line is the border between Israel and Egypt. The Suez Canal is far away from this border, about 200 kilometers away. This entire area is also called the Sinai Peninsula. Because they were so far from the border, neither Egypt nor the 15 ships were concerned about rising tensions with Israel. Then something happened that day. The lava boiling from the tension erupted and war suddenly broke out. The Israeli army suddenly attacked Egypt. Within an hour, several rockets and planes fell around the Suez Canal. The situation became so bad that the Egyptian forces closed the Suez Canal on both sides. Heavy fighting continued for the next 6 days, but finally, Israeli forces were able to capture the entire Sinai Peninsula. Now, the new border between Israel and Egypt was formed, and it was the Suez Canal that separated these two countries. It was a very bad defeat for Egypt. The Israeli forces could not advance further by crossing the canal, so the Egyptians stationed boats on both sides of the canal. They destroyed their own bridges and installed mines in the entire canal. The only reason for doing this was that no one could use the canal as well as Israel. Meanwhile, 15 cargo ships got stuck in the Great Bitter Lake. The Egyptian army was in the west and the Israeli army in the east. They could neither go back to the Mediterranean nor to the Red Sea. In short, ships have no choice but to stand still and wait. Apart from this, there were several hundred other ships that were stopped in the Mediterranean and Red Seas. All of them were standing in the same hope that the matter might be resolved, but the matter was becoming more bitter. Days passed, weeks, and then months. The shipment was delayed, and the freight charges were multiplied. Ships that used to use the Suez to go to Europe, the Middle East, and Asia now had to go around the African continent again. Because of this war, where the whole world was facing new challenges, 15 ships and their crews was stuck caught in their misery. They included British, German, Swedish, Polish, French, Bulgarian, Czechoslovakian, and American ships. After several months, when they realized the problem wasn't going away quickly, the shipping companies called back most of the crew. while only 10 men were left to maintain each ship. Every second or third month, these men were also sent back, and new crews were sent, only in the hope that one day these stranded ships will be able to leave here. After being together for so long, the crews of these 15 ships became friendly and looked forward to activities to help them recover from their depression. A small church was opened on the German ship, where the whole Christian congregation gathered every Sunday. Movies were arranged every day on the Bulgarian ship. Pool parties were held on the Swedish ship, and football was played on the British ship. They even organized the Olympic Games in the same Bitter Lake and named it Bitter Lake Olympics, 1968. Years passed by one after the other, but these ships remained standing in the same place until a time came when a layer of mud froze over them. Because these were neutral ships and had nothing to do with the war, neither Israel nor Egypt had any objection to their provision of food and drink. 6 years later, in 1973, the war escalated again, but this time the attack was launched by Egypt. Egypt entered the Sinai Peninsula with all its might and pushed the Israeli forces deep inside. But this time, an Israeli rocket unintentionally landed on a stranded American ship, which it destroyed and sank. This week-long battle resulted in thousands of casualties on both sides. Finally, October 24, in 1973, a ceasefire agreement was signed between them. Both countries started to withdrawing their respective military troops. The 6-year war was now over, but for the ships stuck in traffic jams, it seemed like the war was still going on. In those 6 years, the wreckage of boats, ships, and rockets was strewn inside the Suez Canal, and Egypt had also installed mines, due to which it was still not possible for ships to leave, because it took Egypt the next 2 years to thoroughly clean the Suez Canal. 5th June 1975 was the day the Suez Canal finally opened after 8 years. After staying together for so long, it was time for these 14 ships to leave the Suez Canal. When they returned to their countries, they were welcomed with great fanfare. Such a huge traffic jam has never happened before in history, and has never happened from since to till date. On the other hand, relations between Egypt and Israel improved, and Israel returned the entire Sinai Peninsula to Egypt. And Egypt was the first Arab country who recognized Israel. Now it's time to go, and don't forget to comment down your country. I hope you will like and share this video. Thanks for watching. See you soon in the next video.